After much turmoil last week, the stock market came back with a roar this week, starting Monday just before the election. What is it telling us about our electoral process? And more importantly, what does it mean for your retirement savings? Earlier, I spoke with Sandy Wiggins from ACG Wealth Management in Midlothian to get his take.
Sandy, the market started rising leading up into the actual day of the election. It had been so volatile before that and for an extended period. What was happening?
Well, leading up to the election, obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty around the different tax policies, regulations that might come out of Vice President Biden winning the election. So that created volatility. The market doesn't like uncertainty. Mm-hmm. The day of the election, or really the day after the election, it became clear, particularly with the Senate staying with the Republican party, that there would not be substantial change in tax policy. So that really helped rally the market over the last couple of days, and we're seeing that even today.
Well, and so in a sense, divided government, if you will, is something that the market might say, hey, that kind of keeps everything in balance, I guess.
Yep, it's the Goldilocks scenario. The market doesn't particularly like one party being in complete control of the various areas of government. So with some division, it creates a little bit more stability in what we have in regulations now, and likely that should continue at least for the next couple of years.
And we obviously are in the middle of a pandemic, and yet the market has stayed relatively stable up until this period of volatility leading into the election. It made a lot of people nervous, and I would think the average investor who's worried about his or her 401k might think, you know what, maybe I should sit this out, go into something long-term, bonds, money market, CDs. But that's a dangerous scenario if you're hoping to get long-term growth in your portfolio.
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's certainly a reasonable emotional response to uncertainty in the market. And it was not unexpected that we would see volatility in the market. There have been periods of time, obviously, in history where it becomes clear that the market is likely to experience a volatility. But it's very difficult to time the market. You have to make two very important decisions: when to get out of the market and when to get back in. And our philosophy is really to take a longer term approach to investment management.
Right. And you've got a great chart for that because, like you said, nobody can predict all those days. And that if you look back over a certain period of time, if you missed, say, like the 10 best days in a certain period, there it is that staying invested, if you got a 9% return for that 15-year period, 13-year period, if you just missed 10 days out of that because you said, oh my gosh, I'm getting nervous, it's cut in half.
Yeah, it's fairly dramatic. I mean, let's just think about that. 10 days over a 15-year period makes such a substantial difference. And if you miss those 10, those 5, those 20, whatever it is, you miss any of those days, you're likely going to suffer. And it makes sense. What happens typically is the market falls. We know that, that reality, what goes down must come up. And oftentimes it's fairly quick. Shortly after the market falls, it rebounds very significantly. And we've seen that time and time again, even in the last 12 months with the coronavirus environment we've been in. So, this graph's pretty powerful. And our recommendation generally is to take a long-term approach. Make sure that you've got the right mix in your portfolio that you can stick with in good times and bad.
All right. Sandy Wiggins, ACG Wealth Management. Thank you for that. Stay the course. Be long-term. Don't try to beat the experts.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Bill. Have a great day.
All right.
Sometimes you have to go like this and say, I'm not looking for the next few months until it's all over. Again, Sandy Wiggins from ACG Wealth Management in Midlothian.